If you were hoping the New York Knicks were going to be able to steal a head coach from another NBA team, you just got bad news, and it seems like Leon Rose and Worldwide Wes, they got bad news as they are a week into the head coaching search. We'll break that down on today's show, but first, make sure you are subscribed to Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We are almost at our goal of 77,000 subscribers. I need 15 people. 15 diehard Knicks fans that want free videos every day that are not subscribed to change it so we can get to our goal of 77,000. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. We're a week into the Tom Thibodeau replacement search, and it doesn't seem like much movement has happened. We also got a message from Tom Thibodeau. He went out and he made a statement, and we're going to break that down and react to that. But Charania with the news of the day, saying the New York Knicks officially requested permission Wednesday morning to speak to Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd. And the Dallas Mavericks gave a firm rejection, sources tell ESPN. The Knicks have been denied now on Kidd, Minnesota's Chris Finch, and Houston's Ime Udoka. So the New York Knicks are trying to find maybe a coach they like that's employed that could shake free and be their next head coach. I guess this means it's the end of the Jason Kidd pursuit for the Knicks. Or not. Steve Popper saying this as he quote tweeted Mark Stein, who also says the Knicks have now formally requested permission to speak to Jason Kidd, and the request was denied. Steve Popper, who's covered the Knicks for a long time, says Mark Stein knows the Mavs better than anyone. Interestingly, I've heard that despite this roadblock coming, some in the Knicks organization believe the first no is not the end of the pursuit of Jason Kidd. So there you go. And it sounds like from multiple other people, they're not stopping either. James L. Edwards III, who does an awesome job covering the Knicks for The Athletic, said, I've gathered the Knicks' pursuit might not stop with the official denial of permission. Then adding, even with the denial, the Knicks could still offer a trade package to Dallas that they could make it so good that they could refuse to decline it. There's just been no indication that Dallas wants Kidd to leave. And it also seems like Jason Kidd is already prepping to be the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks for the 2025 and 2026 season. Jason Kidd is expected to add Mike Pemberthy to his staff in Dallas, according to a source. Pemberthy and Kidd won a championship together as assistants with the Lakers in 2020. Also, reports coming out that the Mavs have officially agreed to terms with Jay Triano, hope I said that right, to be Jason Kidd's second lead assistant. So the Knicks are courting Jason Kidd. The Mavs are saying no, and Kidd is going out and trying to add to his staff of the Dallas Mavericks. Also, a report came out yesterday from The Athletic that said the widely held belief is that Kidd ultimately is hoping to parlay the Knicks' interest into a lucrative contract extension. It remains to be seen how Kidd might respond if he doesn't get the desired extension, and there is historical precedent here when it comes to Kidd spurning the Mavericks for the New York Knicks, as he has been a head coach that has been traded before. So a lot to digest there. Sounds like the Knicks' pursuit is not done. You have to wonder when tampering might come into play. The Knicks have never tampered to steal someone from the Dallas Mavericks. I almost said steal someone from the Jalen Brunsons. They could have been the Jalen Brunsons, but they didn't want to pay him $50 million. Of course, the Mavericks were always going to say no to the Knicks when it comes to permission to interview their current head coach. But like Brian Windhorst said on ESPN yesterday, and like we've told you guys, the Knicks don't need to interview Jason Kidd. They like him. They interviewed him in 2020. He was the runner-up to getting the job to Tom Thibodeau. They would only ask permission to interview him if there was serious interest there and also on the other side. I'm not ready to close the door on that. We'll close the conversation today, and let's go on to what Ian Begley reported. The Knicks formally reached out to the Rockets for permission to talk to head coach Ime Udoka, and the Rockets denied permission, per people familiar with the Rockets' stance. Also, Mike Francesa So the Knicks reached out to the Minnesota Timberwolves and were denied permission to talk to Chris Finch. The Athletic's Kelly Iko reported last week that the Rockets had no interest in entertaining any Udoka to New York scenario. Knicks sure do have a type. They sure do have a type. They want coaches that are currently employed by other teams. And at this moment, things can change. They are 0 for 3 in that department. The Rockets said, no way you could talk to Ime Udoka. The Minnesota Timberwolves said, no way you could talk to Chris Finch. And obviously, the Dallas Mavericks are saying, no, you cannot talk to Jason Kidd. Why would any of those teams grant permission? That would be weird in the first place. Look, I don't have a problem with this plan, and a lot of people have came up to me and messaged me on social media and reached out saying, Marshall, see, the Knicks had no plan. They don't know what they're doing. They cut Tibbs off, and they don't know who they're going to hire next. I have no problem with the New York Knicks seeing if there's any coach that they like that's employed by another team that they could get to shake free. Because there's never been a time in Knicks history where they had a coach that quit their job to go coach another team. Definitely not on June 15th of 1995, right? Ashley Nicole Moss saying, I don't understand the ideology of going after employed coaches on playoff teams. Shout out to Ashley. She does awesome work, and shout out to her for a new show. But my guy Sean with a W, who does awesome stuff for Knicks Film School, says, I absolutely do. And he posted this screenshot, which I loved. On June 15th, 1995, Pat Riley resigned from the Knicks via a fax to become president and head coach of the Miami Heat with complete control over basketball operations. So yeah, the Knicks have had it done to them. Let's not act like this isn't a strategy that, one, may not work out, and two, that is just stupid. Leave no stone unturned. If you think a coach out there can elevate this team to NBA Finals winners, see if you can talk to them. See if you can interview them and see if there's mutual interest. Look, I'm not buying the Knicks had no plan after firing Tom Thibodeau. I'm just not doing that. Since Leon Rose has become the head honcho of the New York Knicks, they have been the most forward-thinking organization in all of sports. And it's very well documented. Every move they have made has got them to this point while thinking forwardly about what a current move could do for them 2 to 3 years later. Like hiring Leon Rose and hiring Tom Thibodeau, who loved and are loved by Jalen Brunson. And then 2 years later, you stole Jalen Brunson from the Mavs. They didn't just do that because they loved Leon and they loved Tibbs. I'll break it down like this from a life perspective. If you're in a relationship or you're married to somebody, you don't stay with them after you have realized they're no good for you and they've run their course and the time with you and them is coming to a close. Once you figure out that they're not the person for you, you break up with them, even if you don't know who the next person is. You don't just stay in a bad relationship because you don't know who your next partner is. If you do, that's extremely toxic. Once you figure out that a head coach, a relationship partner is not getting the job done for you, you cut the cord and you move on. And then you work forward in hopes to find the perfect and proper replacement, just like the New York Knicks are trying to do. We got some more news and rumors to talk about on this coaching search, and I want to talk about what Tom Thibodeau said in the newspaper today. But first, I got to give a major shout out to our proud sponsor, Factor Meals. Shout out to Factor Meals for sponsoring today's show. And if you use our promo code NICKSCHAT50 off, you're going to get 50% off your first order and free shipping. With summer here and more time to do stuff outside with the sun still shining, the last thing you want to do is spend too many hours inside the kitchen cooking or spend too many hours in the grocery store shopping for good ingredients. That's where Factor comes in. Factor chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers you and your day from sunup to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks as well as desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. As someone who lives a busy lifestyle, covering 2 teams here at Chat Sports with the Giants and the Knicks, I don't have as much time as I would like to go to the grocery store and meal prep and cook and eat healthy. But when I have Factor in the fridge at home, my life is so much easier. I get to live more, and I get to worry less about what I'm going to be eating every single day. And you can do the same by going to factormeals.com/KnicksChat50 off and use code KnicksChat50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code KnicksChat50 off at factormeals.com/KnicksChat50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Alrighty, that link will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. 2 tweets from my man Sean with the W. Go give him a follow. Go show him some love. I thought this one was really, really good. In 2020, Leon Rose interviewed Tom Thibodeau, Kenny Atkinson, Mike Woodson, Ime Udoka, Pat Delaney, Chris Fleming, Will Hardy, Jamal Mosley, Mike Brown, and Jason Kidd over the span of 2 months before hiring Tom Thibodeau. Why anyone thought this was going to take a week is beyond me. And Sean, you're absolutely right. And great stuff here, man. You're killing it. I'm not sure this is getting wrapped up anytime soon. We haven't even heard of one interview going down at this point. And while I do think the Knicks should try to have this wrapped up relatively soon, by this time next week or 5 days before the NBA draft or a couple of days before NBA free agency, there's not really any hard deadline that you got to have a coach by. Like, yeah, you want one probably when you go through free agency and you're making trades and things of that nature, but it's not like if the Knicks don't have a coach by X date, they're in big trouble. And I don't want Leon Rose to rush this. Like, this is arguably the biggest decision he is going to have made as the decision maker for the New York Knicks. Like, this job is not for the weak. You need someone, one, that's willing to be the face and the voice of your organization. Because Leon Rose ain't talking to the media. Leon Rose ain't holding any press conferences. He doesn't do that. So you got to be the spokesperson. You got to be the brains of the team. You got to be the face of the organization. And you have to be their PR guy. Tom Thibodeau, I thought he did a good job of that because he is the master of word soup. Saying a lot of words and not really meaning anything. And Leon Rose knows he has to get this hire right. Because when you're a GM, when you're the president of basketball operations, you don't normally get to hire 3 head coaches. You can get one, and you fire him, and then you could tell management, I got another guy out there that's going to do a better job than what he did. But it's hard to go up to Jimmy James Dolan and saying, hey, I know I had 2 coaches that I thought were the guys and they both got fired, but give me one more chance. You usually don't get to hire 3 head coaches. And also, the East is more wide open than ever before. The Knicks have an opportunity to get right back to the Eastern Conference Finals next year. The Knicks have a really strong nucleus of players, and the East is open. Who knows what's going to happen in Milwaukee? Even if Giannis comes back, I'm not scared of that team at all. The Boston Celtics are dealing with injuries now to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. The East is open. The Knicks are ready to win a title. They need a coach that can elevate them to that spot. Here are some other head coaching names that, maybe we should keep an eye on now that it seems like the Knicks may pivot away from trying to steal someone else's coach, even though it sounds like they may still be in the Jason Kidd business. Taylor Jenkins from the Memphis Grizzlies. Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets, Mike Brown of the Kings, Mike Budenholzer. What about Jeff Van Gundy? Could they run that back? Johnny Bryant, a lot of people are interested in him. Royal Ivey from the Rockets, the 2 coaches, Dave and David from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Chris Quinn, the top assistant for the Miami Heat under Eric Spoelstra. You could also look at someone on the Dallas Mavericks bench in Sean Sweeney. James Borrego is a name that's been mentioned a couple of times. Darvin hands in your pocket ham. And then Micah Nori. Micah Nori is someone that the Knicks have reportedly gauged some interest in. We'll see if they follow that train or whatever they do. I don't know who it's going to be. I still don't even know who I would say is the favorite at this point. But I want to hear from you. You guys always educate me in the comments section, and I love going down and reading the comments and getting smarter from the people that watch this channel. Who do you want the Knicks to hire as their next head coach? Give me a name in the comments section. Tom Thibodeau took a page out of the newspaper today and just issued a statement essentially saying thank you. And you know what, Tibbs? Thank you, my man. He says thank you to the best city in the world with the best fans in the world. Thank you. When I was hired in 2020, I said this was my dream job. I am grateful that dream became a reality. Thank you to our players and coaching staff who gave everything they had, and to everyone who makes this franchise special. I am proud of everything we accomplished together, including 4 playoff appearances and this year's run to the Eastern Conference Finals, our first in 25 years. And to the fans, thank you for believing in me and embracing me from day one. Watching you support our team and seeing the Garden ignite with that incomparable Knicks energy is something I will never forget. With gratitude and respect, Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs, we appreciate you, my man, and I got chills reading that a little bit. Look, I have yelled from the mountaintops that Tom Thibodeau should be fired, but I'll forever be grateful for him. He took my favorite team out of the ground of the NBA, and turned them into kind of a model organization at this point. If that didn't make you tear up, Tom Thibodeau's brother, Dennis, he also issued a statement. And this one definitely put some chills down my spine. Tom, you were born a Knicks fan, raised in a Knicks home. You dreamed of being a Knick. Critics may target success, but that never mattered to you. You demanded accountability from the top down. You made countless sacrifices to enrich others. You stood in front of the bus, often alone, to protect ownership, management, and your players. You squeezed every ounce of energy from yourself to be the best coach you could be. No one can question your status as a championship caliber coach because everything you did defined what it meant to be a champion. Congratulations, Tom, on your Knicks tenure. It's disappointing to see it end this way. No one knows what the future holds for the Knicks, but what's certain is that no one will ever pour more into that role than you did for the fans, for the city, for the organization, and for your players. Tom, I'm going to miss you as the head coach of this team. When I first started covering the New York Knicks in the summer of 2021 here at Chat Sports, I only knew Tom Thibodeau as the head coach, and feels like the end of an era, and it is the end of an era, and I'm just thankful for it. And all you Knicks fans should be thankful as well. And I want you to show Tom Thibodeau some love in the comments section. Just type your TTs in the comments section. Tell him thank you. Tell him we appreciate you. And whoever this next coach is going to be, they sure do have big shoes to fill. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Knicks.